just so that I could be there for my kids. When I remember coming home and she would say, Miss Campbell, Miss Williams, you have to eat, you have to eat. And at the time, I didn't even realize that I wasn't doing that because I would come home from work. Nobody knew at work. I would just come home, bathe, come to
And
bed.
just go lay down.
Don't even talk to my kids. And if you know me, you know me and my kids,
Yeah.
like we're so close.
Behind every smile is a story of pain, strength, and resilience. The Blueprint Podcast is where those stories are told, where we heal, evolve, and reclaim what's ours. And whether you're a woman finding her voice or a man ready to listen and grow, this space is for you. Together, we rise back into her. Before we begin, please note that today's conversation may include topics that could be sensitive or triggering. Listeners' discretion is advised. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Blueprint. I'm your host and sister, Yanique. And before we get into tonight's guest, have you subscribed? Have you subscribed to the podcast as yet? Well, if you have not, this is your opportunity to go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and comment at the end of the video the part that touched you the most. I have someone today who defines what it means to fight silently, smile through the storm, and rise with grace. You may see the smile, her daughters, the strength, but behind that is a woman that fought battles that would have broken most. I'm sitting with Sherica, a woman who rebuilt her life from ground zero, failed courses, heartbreak, single mother, career loss, and yet she rose. Today, she is a food sustainability professional and current food studies master's student in New York City. She has over 12 years of experience working across government, private sector, and nonprofit spaces. Sis, get ready to be inspired. Let's get into this. Welcome, Sherica.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, how are you feeling today?
Well, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm okay.
I know it's okay to be nervous. We're going to be talking about some deep things, and thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to tell your story. I know it's been a lot, but we're gonna get through it today, okay?
Okay, no
So
problem.
I want to start out with asking you, who is Sherica today? In this current season, who are you?
Well, Sherica today is liberated. I am so proud of me and how
Yes.
far I've come, given the circumstances, given the challenges. But hey, it's life, and
Yes.
we'll learn to move on and just be stronger. And that's basically who Sharika is, a liberated, strong, independent female.
Yes. And I know that to be true. You are strong, you are
Thank
independent,
you.
but even the strong ones break as well.
Yep.
When I submitted my survey a few months ago to be completed, you told your story and it was deep. And, I'm sending my hugs. I'm sending, sometimes you just need someone that you can
Thank
just tell
you.
your story. It actually brought tears to my eyes. And to see you here being ready to actually tell your story, you have shared a few things on social media, bits and pieces here, but today we're going to talk. In that story, you wrote about how people see your smile and assume life has always been kind. What do you want people to really know about you?
Well, I would want to start with no matter how life gets difficult, no matter the difficulty, no matter how far the bend, don't allow
Yes.
it to break you. Everybody is going through something. It's something that I have come to realize that no matter how close you are with someone, they're actually going through something. Everybody's their own operating unit. And it's just so strange. And then we all have to exist in this same place. So it
Yeah.
really takes nothing to be kind.
Yes.
And that's something that I carry with me now, even now that I'm on a new journey.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was going through my divorce,
Yes.
I didn't share with anybody. I didn't share. Only was closest to me would have known. I
Yes.
think I didn't even share with my mom until I was sure that this was gonna happen. So I didn't share
Yeah.
with anybody. But as you know, I'm a mom, and at the time I was working as the first business development manager.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is something that I've worked so hard for
Yes.
ever since I have been going to school. I'm always a hard worker. And
That's
so
fine.
this was an opportunity that was very dear to me. So I didn't want to risk anything losing this job. However,
Yes.
life happened and it was like nobody knew I was going through all of this and the pressures and everything. Listen, I don't even know how it was only the grace of God why I'm able to even talk about this without even crying or even feeling hurt. Because
Yes.
if I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that hurt anymore. I wanna say I'm not hurt. I'm still hurt. What
You're still going
people
through the
have done,
process.
there's gonna be a bruise, right? But it's not gonna
Yeah.
be you can't allow it to be an open sore. And that's just where
Yeah. You, we'll get into it a little bit as we go, but sometimes when people don't know what's going on, it's the hardest thing for people around you to understand the
uh-huh.
change. They may see the energy shift and they're like, she has an attitude or she's not showing up how she normally would show up, but
Yep.
nobody knows. And that's so key. Like if how can we support you if we don't know what's
Yeah.
going on?
That's
Yeah.
that's true, but at the same time, everybody show up differently, right? So for me, I wouldn't want to like share my burdens with other people, especially if they're not gonna like help. And in a situation like that, how could they help? I mean,
Correct.
personally, in my
Yeah.
personal life, how would they help? At work, they could have helped by doing their part. Them not doing their job made it more stressful on me. And, that's one thing that also came up, being in a new environment. I moved from Jamaica to New York, right? And people will, in the work environment, they will say there are certain things that you are not supposed to share, right? You're not to share this and you're not to share that and you're not to this and you're not to that. There are rules and there are norms, but at the same time, how do you assist other young professionals who may be going through things like this to show up
Yeah.
in their work space?
Yes.
And if you're not allowed to even speak about it, I'm not saying that you're going to go into details, but at the same time,
Yes.
I think it's really important, especially for young women and men, to
Yeah.
actually have a respectable, open forum to discuss these things, especially as young professionals. I mean,
Yes.
it's not fair to ask you to completely ignore your personal life because it affects how you show up for your job. So,
Yeah. And mental health is on the rise. And so if they don't feel as if they can talk to somebody at work, then what is going to happen? They're just going to suppress it, show up, may not be functioning the way that they're supposed to. And I think that's one of the
exactly.
things I like about my job is they encourage it. They encourage
Yeah.
family first. They encourage us to speak about what's going on. Of course, privacy. You have to pick and choose what you want to talk about,
What
but
you would
it
share,
is encouraged
exactly.
that.
But at the same time, you're in an environment where people are parents, they're moms, they're dads, they're going through divorce. Parent may have
Yeah,
died, a child may have died. I mean, how do you expect these people to show up as their professional self if they're not able to share or communicate with their
yeah,
coworkers how they see fit? That at a 4 today because
Yeah.
this is what is happening in my personal life, you know? So I wished I had that forum when I was going through that at the time. I did not
Yes.
have that. So, yeah.
I understand. And if there are organizations out there listening, that is something that you can take away from this interview, that the workers do need that safe space, that they can actually even speak to their managers so that at least their manager will know what is happening. You touch on, since we're on the topic of work, I want to talk a little bit about something that you mentioned, and we're shifting gear for a second. But you
Sure.
mentioned that you waited outside that department's head office for a second chance. What was driving you that day?
Yes, but that was so many years ago. As I said, that
Okay.
I've gone through so many challenges. And
Yes.
Dr. Damian King, I will
So
never
that's where it
forget
started.
Dr. Damian King. He
Yes.
may not remember me, but I remember him because he gave me a chance.
Yes.
Because I remember when I was going to UWI, I failed a course by 2 marks.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I was going to UWI, I
Yes.
failed one of my core courses by 2 marks.
Mm-hmm.
And I at the time I did not know like what to do, so I kept going to the office to ask, this is the only course I needed to graduate. So I'm like, what do I do? How, and nobody was giving me any go ahead. They're like, oh, you're gonna have to come back an entire semester to do
Mm.
one course. Mind you, I just had Nyla, so I just had my first daughter. So I'm
And
like,
while you were in college, right?
yes, in my final year.
Okay. Yes.
So I'm like, no. And I remember keenly the cleaning lady. I don't
Mm.
remember her name, but bless her soul. She told me his um, schedule and she said,
Mm.
go and ask him and see. I don't know if he's gonna say yes, but I think it's best you ask him yourself. And he went
Yes.
to work at 6 a.m. Think it was
Yes.
6 or 7, but it was very early in the morning. And I went there and I sat very early. When he came and he saw me at his door, I'm sure he's wondering what's happening now. Or maybe at the time I was probably wondering that, but probably it happens all the time because
Yeah.
he's the head of department. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And he was very respectful. He was very nice. He told me to come into his office and
Yeah.
have a seat. Listen, as soon as I sat on that chair and he said, "What's happening?" I
It's not
just
crying.
start to bawl. I start to bawl because, mind you, one, I couldn't believe I've gotten this far, and
Yes.
two, it was just so overwhelming. It was just so much because this is the only course I needed to graduate. And
Yeah.
people assume that if you fail a course is because you're slow or you never study or
Mm.
you're idle or whatever. Listen, it was none of that. I actually studied. I don't know, I just did not understand the questions. And
Yeah.
he gave me the opportunity to retake the test. So I did a redo of the test. However,
Mm.
it didn't really change my GPA. It just
Lord of
means I
mercy.
just needed to pass, which it
Okay.
never
Okay.
it didn't matter to me because at the time I just wanted to graduate.
Mm.
And I ended up getting about 80% on that test, which
Mm-hmm.
he was actually
That's
surprised because I think he thought I was gonna fail the test because he's probably like, there's no way she's gonna pass this test. I got
yeah.
80% on that. And he's like, congratulations. And that's how I graduated. From time to
Yeah.
time, I will send him an email to say
Yeah.
hi and what's up. I'm not sure if he reads it because he never really responds, but Dr.
Yeah.
Damon King, I love you and I will always be a supporter of him.
Yeah. But you know what that story tells? That is not just now you fight. Like you've been fighting for a long time for what you believe in yourself.
Yep.
You advocate for yourself. You don't mind going the extra mile to ensure that you get the things
But
you
that's the
want.
thing. You have to advocate for yourself. Who is going to
Yeah.
advocate for you? Like,
Who's gonna
especially
show?
in Jamaica. Like you have to advocate for yourself. Sitting and
Right.
waiting is not gonna like bring you anywhere. It's not gonna
Yeah.
take you anywhere. You have to show up for yourself, advocate for yourself, and that's something that I want to like. If there's any trait I want to pass on to my kids, is like sticking up for themselves and advocating
Yeah.
for themselves. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I tell King all the time too. Like you have to learn to speak up. Like if there's anything your mother is not afraid to do, is advocate
Listen,
for herself.
don't pressure King. Did not people still assume that I don't speak even now, right? But there's a
Mm.
thing with subtle leadership and quiet leaders, right?
Yes.
I'm not introverted, but I'm not
Yes.
loud, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And just me by me continuously showing up for myself and
Yep.
being confident in myself. Like whenever I go somewhere, you know what time of day it is. Like there's no question. The only thing you may say is she is soft spoken or she don't talk loud or that's it. But
Yeah.
if I need to speak, I will speak and I will be heard.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's let's talk about your marriage. The story that you shared is that your ex-husband, he left to visit the US and he never returned. And
Hmm.
you ended up being divorced. How did you survive the shock of being left for someone else after building a life with that person?
Listen, I keep saying listen. But
Oh, listen, come
well,
on.
going through it and speaking about it now, like I'm not afraid to speak about it, right?
Yeah,
And I will always speak about it. I will not be silenced. That is
yeah,
exactly what happened. And I never once pretended to be perfect. Nobody's
yeah,
perfect. Everybody has their flaws. But
yeah.
the moment when I got married forever. And
Was a
so we did have challenges. We had many challenges, right? However, one of the major challenges that we had was poor communication. Like, and when you're dating someone, it's important to know like their upbringing
yeah,
and know how they interact with their family and friends. And the first time that you see something that you do not like and you know that you really cannot deal with this or you can't tolerate it, just if you know you can't tolerate it, just call it quits. Like it's okay to be friends and it's okay to just say this is not gonna work out. So that's where I would say I would have probably be blinded
okay,
in wanting things to work out and ignoring some of the things that I really did not like. So
okay,
I am one who, if something is bothering me, I am gonna speak. He was not that type of person. He would not speak. I mean, we're living together and he would not speak to me for weeks,
oh my
right?
goodness.
And it was even after being divorced, I would have realized that, hey, say you're really messed up. Like that is so abusive. Why would you have somebody who is the mother of your child, your
Yeah,
wife, in
yeah,
Malissar, 2 weeks, and we live
wow,
together, right? Those were some of the things. And going through it is one thing.
yeah,
When he told me what he was gonna do, initially he told me to work with it because I'm gonna get a better opportunity and whatever. And I don't know, it's like God just thumped me on my back. Girl, you better have little sense. And I said to him, I remember saying to him that, dating, and it's fine. And
okay,
that's how I went over that. But he did pay for a living nanny for me, which she was there before he left. Auntie, love you. Because if I didn't have her, trust me, there's
yeah,
no way. And
yeah,
this now makes me feel emotional because she was there when she knew everything. She's the only person that knew everything. Not my mother, not my mother-in-law, not him. not my kids. She had to be there for me just so I could show up at work, just so that I could be there for my kids. When I remember coming home and she said, Miss Campbell, Miss Williams, you have to eat, you have to eat. And
Mm,
at the time, I didn't even realize that I wasn't doing that because I would come home from work. Nobody knew at work. I would just come home,
yeah.
eat, and go to my bed.
Just go lay down.
Don't even talk to my kids. And if you know me, and know me and my kids,
Yeah.
like we're so close.
Yeah.
Like I would just go to my bed and she's like, Miss Williams, you have to eat. You can't do this, you can't do that. And she cook for me. She take care of me. She make sure say my kids all right. And like if it wasn't for her, that there's no way.
You could have gotten through
There's
it.
no way at all. And so you need support. Like when you're going through stuff like that, you need support. And I also remember sharing with he migrated to the Cayman Islands and he was also going through his divorce. And he said to me like he said, "Oh yeah, how am I gonna see her, how things going on, whatever." And I told him and he told me what was happening with him, which he briefly shared before, but I didn't know it was serious because he's a
Uh,
Christian and so I didn't know that he was seriously pursuing that.
yeah.
And he
You
said
can
to
take.
me, Sharika, I'm gonna be honest with you, you need to go to counseling. I'm gonna say,
Yes.
we're not gonna counseling, like what is counselor gonna tell me? And he said,
Mm,
no, no, seriously, go counseling because it's the same way I used to feel, and he tell me how he used to feel and angry, and even though he
uh,
felt that he was okay, but he was so angry. And he gave me the number and I went to counseling for probably 2 months, and that was how I recovered and started showing up as
yeah.
myself. Because this counselor, he was like, "Are you the mom or are you the child? Why are you crying in front of these kids?
Hopefully you were even crying in front of them.
Why? Yeah, because it's like me not even see them. But at the end of the day, guess what? At the time, I would be like, all of us would hug up and cry. When they come in my room, we cry together, right? But I'm like, why would you do this to the kids? And that's what I was saying. But then I realized that I was hurting them even more because he's not here. Him done the film hurting them gone. But imagine them every day they come home and see me like this.
Yeah.
It's like I am
Yeah.
continuously hurting them. Life is not fair. I had to be
Yeah.
like,
Just still,
come Sharika, you need to like get this together. For
it's not
them.
just you.
Everything
Yeah.
I do is for them. Like
Yeah.
it sounds so atypical for a mom to say, "Yo, I do this for my kids," but you see, my daughter, them, anything, I'm gonna do it for them. Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna do it for them. I'm gonna make it happen for them. So I realized that I was the one who was hurting them by being like this every day. I couldn't show up for them, right? So yeah, counseling
What?
helped.
That's good. That's good. I'm sorry I had to go through that. It's definitely a hard pill to swallow, and it seems like you're still kind of going through it. What
Mhm.
aspect of it, what aspect of it broke you the most? What was it about the whole situation that?
One, I would say I'm being embarrassed.
Uh,
I would say I was embarrassed because I didn't feel like I did something to this person. Remember, this is somebody that I love.
yeah.
And the reaction what he did would be like a reaction to something that I would have done, right? But what would
Mm-hmm.
I have done that was so bad for
To
you to
deserve
do
that.
that? So that was part of the issue, right? And the other thing, as I said, is just seeing my kids be hurt, right? Because they don't know anything else. I've had instances going to school and this is how people started to know. So I would pick up my kids from school and Jenna was 3 at the time. And Jenna would say, tell the teacher, my mommy going through a divorce. Mommy
Yes.
going through a divorce. That
Oh
is
my goodness.
basic school. Then she go
Wow.
primary school and she's like, yeah. My daddy left me when I was 3. That's just
My
how simple.
God.
Like those things really break my heart because I'm like,
Yeah.
even though he was the one who did, I feel like I put them through this, right? And as parents, you wish you can just take with all of the pain. You don't want to, you don't want to inflict pain on your kids, right? You want them to have a life even better than the life that you had. You're not gonna be
Yes.
perfect, but you
Yeah.
still want to give them joy and happiness, right?
Yeah.
And that for me was the most heartbreaking of everything.
Yeah. It's just like,
Yeah.
this is the life that I was building.
Yep.
How did
And
it not?
everything is just non existent. Like, and
Yeah.
the friends that we shared, like, it was our friendship separated because we shared a lot of friends together. So I lost a lot
So,
of, so I did not only lose him, I lost friendships.
because he was
And
your friend, too, right? Before all of that
he
happened.
was my friend before. So I lost friendships. I lost him as a friend, right? Even though his mom was my friend, we're
Man,
still friends, but at the same time, things are gonna be, different. It's not gonna be
different.
the same. I love her dearly, but it's just not gonna be the same. And those are the things that break my heart.
Yeah.
I'm respectful of the decision that you made. You made your decision, and all the best in life
Yeah.
with your
Yeah.
decision. But at the same time, you cannot ignore the storm that you left
Yeah.
behind. And
Yeah.
it's so unfair that men do stuff like this all the time. And then as women, we're told, oh, get over it. Yeah,
Yeah.
get your ball over, man.
Yeah.
Listen, me
Yeah.
nearly lose my work. Me nearly lose
Yeah.
everything just because it's like I just couldn't process things. I should be processing it.
Because your mind was preoccupied with something
Your
else.
mind is all over the place. You still have to show up as a mother. Let me tell you, if me never have auntie, I don't know what would
Yeah.
have happened to the kids because I me just couldn't like I could not
Yeah.
do anything with them. Like me just literally only can just get up, put on my clothes, go work, come home, eat, go back, go sleep. That
And
was it.
so they would probably describe that as functional depression because
Yep.
you have to get up and go to work. But then once you get out of the work mindset, you're like,
It's like
okay,
so
no
it's
more
like you
strength. No,
put on a show. You have to put on a show. It's like and that is so exhausting.
it is. So by the time you get home, all the energy that you exert to be that person
Me
at
is
work.
not a fake girly. So me having to be like that is like it was just too much. It was too much, right? And
Yeah.
I was already working in a high pressure environment, right?
Yeah.
And it was just too much to deal with. So
Yeah.
even now when I speak about it, if I cry, it's because I think about all the hurt when we allow my kids to go through, right? And it's like it's so unfair because me have to just, as I said, I've learned to just put it behind me because I have to show up as a mom for my kids, for make sure so them have the life what them deserve.
Question, during that time, did you ever question your worth? Like, what is it about me? Am I not good
Of
enough?
course you're gonna question your worth. And anybody who will say them not question them worth, that
Yeah.
is just so fake.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna question your worth because
Shift
you're gonna
it.
question
Yeah.
God. You're gonna question like why am I not valuable to this person? Right? At the time you're not gonna think that this is not a boyfriend. This is not a one night stand.
Yeah. Yep.
We
Yep.
have a family together, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you know me, you know I would have always planned family trip, family this, we do everything together as a family,
Yeah.
right? And so you're building the momentum. My
Yes.
parents have been married for
All
35
right.
years,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Grandparents married how much, me never know how much years, but
Yeah. So
marriage
that's
is
what you.
something that is. that is what I grew up seeing. That's what
Yep.
I know. You
Yeah.
fix it together.
Yeah.
You understand. That's what me know. And when I say
Yes.
my parents are married, I'm not saying because me get for understand say married different.
Yeah.
My parents is not a toxic marriage.
Okay.
It's not a
Okay.
toxic marriage that I would say, it's not perfect. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's not a marriage where my father cheats or my father this or my mother this or no.
Yeah. Them not have a problem there.
No, and them communicate, them work out them problems and move forward. That's just all me see. So that's why I bring back the point to say you need to know or the type of environment that the person grew up in to know how
Yes.
this person thinks about marriage or thinks about a relationship, right? Also, not saying that if the person grew up in a toxic environment that they're not able to have a
Yeah.
positive relationship, but that it has to be a personal choice of the person that they want
Yeah.
to be different. But if they're not seeing
Yes.
nothing wrong with it, then they're gonna just repeat the cycle.
And right. That's facts.
So
And
that's
so to the ladies listening, as Sherika said, understand and learn the background of the person you're getting with. Because if they grew up in a toxic environment, there are chances where there are times when they decide that I don't want to carry that on and they make
mhm,
effort to change. But there are also times when they do continue that same toxicity and
the same toxicity where them see them mother always a hustle and a fight and them feel like say because you're a female, you're supposed to
yeah,
always a hustle and a fight and a like
yeah,
make it make sense. We're supposed to support each other,
yes,
right?
yep,
We're supposed to support each other. And
yeah.
at the time when
So,
things sore, me used to bash him, but
mm-hmm,
me used to bash him and say bad things about him, but I'm not gonna say anything bad about him.
you're a product of your
He made
environment.
is Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything bad about him because
Made
at
it
the end of
short.
the day, he's still a parent, and but if him be honest with himself, him gonna know say what he did was
Not
evil,
right.
cruel. It's just not right.
Selfish.
Yeah,
And selfish.
and selfish. And even now, this happened like 5 years ago, 4 years ago,
Yeah, yeah.
and I still remember things that this person would have said. Like one, he would say,
Did he ever
"Oh,
apologize?
he apologized," but I told him that his apology means nothing to me. I said, "Your apology is for you; it's not for me." And
Yes,
I forgive you. I don't have anything against you, but keep your apology because it's really for you to feel better. It's not for me.
yes,
And I have to forgive myself to feel better. No apology that him can come with
yeah.
will let me feel better.
That's true.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he would say, your parents give you a false reality of marriage. Like, what do
Oh.
you mean by that? Like,
Is that?
I don't understand. What you mean by that? So, like, sometimes those things, like, you would remember. So it's like,
Yeah,
you know, what you mean by that? What you really mean
yeah.
by that? That mean you don't want to change. That's what that mean. You don't want to live up
That's
to
he's stuck in his
no
ways. He
standard.
doesn't
You just want to be who you are, and that's it. And that's fine. Somebody will love you just all you are. That's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry I had to go through that. I know all too well what that is like. Because I went through a divorce as well, and it's not the
Mm,
easiest thing to deal with. It makes you question your worth. It makes you question how valuable you are to a person.
mm,
And for days, you're gonna sit and think, what could you have done differently when all this
differently.
time it's not on you. It's really not on you. You did what you,
It's what they're
yeah,
going through. And it goes back to what I said. Everybody is their own operating unit with their own
yeah,
thoughts, their own hurt, their own challenges, their own. everything, and
Yep.
you have no control over certain things. You just
Yeah.
have no control over it. And
Yeah.
it was even after that I got a new job, which was
Yeah. I was
just
gonna.
so,
Mm,
yeah, I got a new job right in the time that was everything that I needed.
yeah.
So when you manifest things and when you pray to God and you ask God, God know what you need in your life to make
Yes.
things better. Cause God know me could show up at the work and God work it out that I got a
Yeah.
job, another job that was work from home, drive
Yes.
around the country,
We
promoted
gotta be the
company, good pay, good
yeah.
working environment. It was just what I needed, like
You
everything.
need to be
I
outside.
needed the break so bad. But then a year after, 2 years after, they lost their funding and I lost my job. So it
Oh,
was two of my biggest fears
that's
happening
what
in
I
a
was.
short
Yeah.
space of time. Losing my
Yes.
job, failed marriage. Those are
Yes.
those two things.
So, what gave you the courage to start your business? Because I would assume it was around that time that you decided to start your business and you're also back in school. Like, what gave you the courage to start over eventually?
So when I was going through my divorce,
Mhm.
I met somebody who at the time we were friends. And I would share with him, and he said to me, you need to really take the next step and register a business. And I was like, no, no, register a business because now is just not the time.
Yeah.
Good thing he
You
encouraged me,
listen.
which I registered it before I lost my job. So I registered the business before I lost my job and I started. But when I lost my job, no, I officially started doing real business, which a lot of
Mhm.
people ended up reaching out to me, which you see, I
Nice.
use
Okay.
LinkedIn a lot. Listen, I am not gonna complain about LinkedIn. I will be over there. It has given me so much opportunities.
That's amazing.
So people reach out to me all the time and I do whatever consultancies in terms of food
Okay.
systems and I've gotten the opportunity to do this right across the Caribbean, and me starting school in NYU will allow me to be, a more global professional.
Right. Yeah.
So
God work in
yeah.
mysterious ways. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I came here, I had no. So again, me not being the best communicator at the time,
Mhm.
I applied for school.
Yes.
Me not tell nobody again. Won't laugh. Won't laugh. Me not tell nobody because I'm like, might just try my luck. So
Yeah.
I
See
sent
if
an
you get
email to the head of department inquiring about the program and she sent it back to me and said, I need to hurry because, the time is gonna close and she think I'm a very good fit for the program.
it.
And so I said, what? This is in New York. I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this. I don't know.
Um,
So but may I apply?
yeah.
And I came here for Gianna's birthday, right?
Mm,
So I came here for my daughter's birthday. And while I was here celebrating, I found out
you
I
got
was accepted. And I was like, oh my gosh, now we can tell people. No, we can't talk. Still not know Omega PV, but it's still a huge accomplishment. I'm like, oh my god, I
yes.
got through. How are you? So I told my mom, and I'm like, okay, I got through. I applied. She said, when you do this, long time.
Yes.
It's long time, girlie. It's not. So
Yeah.
of course, you have gone well, not the same, but U.S. immigration is very
Yes.
something very simple, so very
Mm-mm.
complicated. So I decided to go through the immigration process and do whatever I needed to do and enrolled in NYU. And it worked out perfectly. I was able to complete my first year.
Yes.
I've been participating in everything at school.
Yes.
Everything I participate in a mini business. And it led to me getting like right now, I'm working at an internship. I don't want to say the name. 'Cause I'm gonna get in trouble. But but if you follow me on LinkedIn, you will know where I'm working at
Yes.
for my internship. It's highly competitive. They received about 44,000
Wow.
applications.
Sure.
and I was successful. I'm like,
Uh,
how me fall through the cracks? I mean, I understand. What was
yes, yes. All that was going on, God is still looking out for you. God is
yeah,
still putting
gotta
you in
look out for
position.
me, and you have to stay focused because faith without works is dead. You have to put in the work.
Yes,
You have to put in the work
yes,
and just know say it'll go work out. That's how things work out. You can't be doubtful. You can't be negative all the time. So
yes.
that's why I must say when I talk about this and I cry, it's not because I am sad. Like
Kind
most
of,
time it's
right? Yeah.
because like but still can't believe some
Oh,
go
you
through
like,
all of them stuff there.
but look at this. The person left you for to be in America. 2 years later, you got the opportunity to be in America where you could have brought him with you in the event that that's what he wanted. So you get an opportunity to show this man, you see where you are run down? You see the things that
But that's what but you see, I would even put it like that. I would say if you did just support me from the get go, we should say you just never supportive of me in the first place. Because if you did
yes,
support me from the get go, this could have happened. But you didn't want to. You selfishly wanted to do it on your own.
yes, yes,
Which is fine. Everybody
yes,
can be kind.
yeah. It's true, and everybody's
Everybody
not gonna
not gonna
do.
be kind.
Yeah,
But it shows that you just didn't support me from the get go. You did not. You're not a
right.
supportive person because if you were,
Yes,
you would have supported me a long time ago and say, Sherry, you know, say this more and do. Make we see how what are the options, right?
yeah,
You
yes.
didn't
Have
want
the
to do that.
conversation.
Yeah, you
Yes,
didn't
have the.
want to do that. That's fine. Maybe you never want to come with me from Pira, and me alright with that. You understand? That's okay.
Yeah,
But at the same time, for me it's an eye opener, and
yeah,
you you never allow situations to keep you down.
yeah,
Like you can't allow right now some of the bills that mama owe me just want to scream and run but
yeah.
just start to get like things back together and me
Back
can
up.
whatever.
Yeah,
And even
yeah,
just communicating with some of these people, like them not have a clue where you're going
yeah,
or you go
yeah,
there or whatever. For them it's just a
yeah,
job, right? It's just a job for them. But at the same time, can't allow things like life goes on. You have to move on. Life is so
yes,
short. Nobody no know. Nobody knows the hour, the day, the minute, the second.
yeah,
We can just talk to you right now and go to my bed and don't wake up.
yeah. That's
So
true.
why would I choose to be unhappy, miserable, and sad? Me not
Yeah,
ugly, me not
you
great.
know, me not stay
So
bad.
so
And
why would
and that's
I choose now? It's a choice now. Me I gotta make for be.
yes. And I like the fact that you said that because whenever a woman start to question her worth, question her value, ask yourself those questions.
And even if me did have all of them, some of them, me still have life because you have people when I have no life, them have them bedridden, them can't move.
Yeah,
You understand? So at the same time, why would I make the choice now to be sad? It's a choice you
yes,
make, right?
yes,
You can choose to be sad, angry, bitter. And you can
yeah.
choose to be happy. Mind you, me now, right now, I strongly believe in be as delusional as you want to be. Be
But it's true. You
delusional.
gotta, yes,
Like, what is really stopping you from being delusional? Man,
yeah.
you say be delusional to the point where you're mad. But
The extreme where the man saying don't want to be with you,
no,
and you're
no,
intentionally
no. We don't
thinking
even
that
not talk
he
about be delusional
really
about
wants
man.
to
We
stay
don't
with
even
you.
man.
No, we're
Be
not talking
delusional
about.
but you're
That's what you should
delusional.
think until you make it. Yes. As we
Yeah,
talk about
be
what
delusional.
message do you hope your daughters learn from watching you rebuild? Like they saw you when you were sad, when you were depressed, when you couldn't get up out of bed, but now they're seeing you rebuild. What message you want them to take from that?
Listen, my daughters, they like to write. And they're broke besties. So every
Okay.
birthday, they'll write me a letter. And I keep all
Okay.
of those letters.
Oh,
All of them. And you know, I love take picture. I take picture. I take pictures of everything. And I
yes.
remember Nyla, she wrote me and she said, Mommy, you're so brave. You're the bravest person I know. If I was you, I would have give up long time. I'm going to tell you,
Mm,
I'm a ball the whole day. I cried the whole day. I said, Nyla, why would you say that? She said, Mommy, you're so strong. If it was me, I don't know how you do this. You're so
wow.
brave. You're the bravest person I know. And you see,
Wow.
we don't realize how much your kids like observe. Because
Yes.
me say me not leave my kids. Me I carry them. Anywhere I go, me I bring them with me. I'm a bag.
Yes.
So if you wanna date me and you don't like it, that's fine. It's
Yes.
just not gonna work. Oh, it's fine. Me not
Yes.
force you to date me with my kids. Me, I'm not gonna force you. But
Yeah.
me and my kids, my two
Yeah.
daughters them is a package.
Yeah.
So I bring them with me. Me not leave them. Matter of fact, and I have nobody to leave them with. But
Because yeah.
it's not I don't have a choice. I have to bring them.
Yeah.
And for her to say that, like she's like, she don't know how to
So
do
that,
it. So they already know and I continue for put life in my kids and let them know that look here, you can do this. Anything you put your mind to, you can do it. Right? Me, I grew up being pressured about school. Pressure about
yeah.
school, you just pressure. You just are living at this pressure cooker all the time. At this age, you look back, is it really worth it though?
yeah.
Right? Is it really worth it? Because if you know me, you know me can do hair. You know me can do makeup, right?
yes.
But I also did my degree in a
You're
maths.
also very smart. Yeah. You're also one of the smartest people I know.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Then seminary, man, but my mother knows, I'm here with her. She don't want me
Hmm.
do her ear every week. Every week she want hairstyle. But she
Yeah.
never believed in me when I used to do hair. Like when I was doing hair in high school, she'd say, here now, carry your gun
Waste of
away.
time.
You can't do here. So you see with my kids, anything them like I'm gonna
Yeah.
encourage them because my
Yes. Yeah.
role as their mom is to prepare them for the world. Anything what so them can feed themselves and have quality of life.
I agree.
So if
Yes.
them not like mads, it's okay.
Yeah.
Find what you like and we will work on it together.
So you spoke a little bit, and I love that because it's the same thing I tell people all the time. I want King to find what he loves. I don't want to nail it down in him that you have to do
No.
this. Yeah, the world has changed significantly. You see the people who are making money now, influencers.
See,
Kaisen it,
AI
just sit
take
up.
away your work there. AI do farming. AI do farming.
I don't have to get no person to do architecture work for me. I just go out there and take a picture of my garden or take a picture of my building and say, show me how I can make it. So
Exactly.
we cannot force the kids to do what we think they
What
should be
we
doing.
think, because furthermore, one thing going to school now has taught me is that, as you said, the world is so different. And
Yeah.
you can prepare your child based on what you know. Because
Yes.
them in a one completely different generation. A matter of fact, you need to go learn from them. So some of the skills
Yeah.
that I have learned in my program, it's not even about food. It's not even
Yeah. Yeah.
about food or
Yeah.
farming or agriculture. It's more like social skills or what are some of the
Yes.
things that, resonate with people. Cause I love chat sometimes.
Yeah.
How do I communicate with the other generation? They're
Yeah.
coming into the workforce now. How do I
Yes.
relate to them? How
You
me
gotta learn
be a
to.
mentor to them? Cause like
Yeah.
me, I'm very big on mentorship. Like I would
Yeah.
want to like be a mentor. As me said, people message me all the time on LinkedIn. If I can help, I'm going to help. Free of cost.
Yes.
Me not charge no money. Me will tell
Yeah.
you where to go, what are some of the things that I have done or whatever. They don't
Yeah.
know my personal life, but I would want to help a young person going into the
Yeah.
workforce.
Yeah.
And we're not all lucky to have lines of professionals, right?
Yeah.
In our families to say, your father a doctor, your mother a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. No, some of us are the ones who are breaking the generational curse. And there are
You
many after.
because I believe you were the first in your family to go to college, right? Was that the
My
case?
brother went to college, but he graduated. He did his associate degree, right?
Okay.
My
Okay.
mom has two kids, just me and my brother. Me only one
Yes.
reach a master's.
Yeah. I also have another master's.
Yeah,
No?
I did my master's at CMU
Yes.
in
When I said this,
logistics and supply
you
chain
see,
management.
you see, when I said this girl is smart, she has a bachelor's, she has a master's in
Yeah,
logistics, and now she's doing a master's in what is it called?
food studies. Mm.
Studies. So
So
she's
sometimes
gonna
when
be
I talk, people wonder women know them something they from.
yeah,
I
she's a
read.
very smart girl, and you can see that's why it's not good to judge because you can see that even the smartest, the strongest, the most resilient at times still go through a heartbreak, still question their words, still wonder
Mhm.
why me? What could I have done differently?
I'm not want nobody call me resilient no more. It's not
I
fair.
mean, I
I
mean,
want to be a
the str-
soft girly. Like I don't want to
I
be
hate
called
that.
resilient because it's too much. Because it's like people are try test your limit, and we
Yeah,
kind of have a peeve with the word, right? Because
girl.
I remember when the guy say whatever and me call and me I cry up on the phone and me I bawling and me I say why you don't really do this to me and
Yeah.
the person was like you're resilient. You will bounce back. That's exactly what he said to me. Yeah,
Your husband at the time said to you for what
that's
he was doing to you,
exactly what he
he said
said
you
to
would
me.
bounce
I'm
back because you're
resilient. You will
resilient.
bounce. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
which me didn't know me I got bounce back because one thing with me, I
Bounce
always
back.
bounce,
What bounce back? What's the bounce
I
back?
always bounce back.
It's going to take some time because we're
Hmm.
human beings, but we are going to bounce back. But for somebody to do something to you that is
But
so
you
wrong,
trust was
that you
actually sad.
trust and then say that. But you mentioned some of the things that helped you to get through. You mentioned faith. You mentioned community. So you had support, your living helper that helped you. And you also mentioned therapy. So all of those things played a role in your journey. Was there anything
Mhm.
else that you did during that time that helped you to heal through the process?
Well, I'm gonna say church, I'm gonna really go church like that so
Yeah.
much. I used to go to church a lot. And it's a personal struggle right now. So
Yeah.
just I'm not gonna discourage anybody from going to church
Yeah.
because everybody needs community. But at the
Yes.
time, and personally, the church them not resonate with me because even just sharing what I was going through,
Yeah.
the comment was, "No, you can't make it work." And person said, "I'm gone. What kind of work me I go like? That's not
Right.
realistic. That's not helping me."
Right. Right.
And so what many other people say that they went to church. For me, it's just spending time with myself again, learning
Okay.
myself, loving me.
Yeah.
I started to exercise more.
Okay.
When I started picking up back myself, I started to
Yeah.
walk. I'm lose
Okay.
body per weight. Which assume said the
Yes.
stress made me lose weight, but it wasn't the stress. I was
Just walk.
exercising and
Okay.
starting to change like my diet and stuff like that.
That's how you
And
start wearing belly skin blouse.
yeah, me start wear what I want wear because me used
You
to
know, my
say the person used to say, "Oh, you can't wear that, you can't do this and you can't do that." You me realize me never fed do nothing for please nobody. Me wear what I say, but can't believe you wear bare skin go everywhere. What would stop me? Stop. If I wanna wear it, I'm gonna wear it.
yes.
Guys,
So as we wrap up, Sherika, this was an amazing conversation.
thank
To the
you.
woman, sure, there's a woman listening who feels like everything is crumbling. Her relationships, her dreams, her sense of self. What would you say to her?
What would I say to her? I would say that you are worth more than you think.
Mhm.
Do not believe every stupid thought that you have,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes we think some stupid things cross your mind. Don't believe every stupid thought that you think. You are more than enough. There is a life after disaster. Once you have
Yeah.
breath, you're gonna have life.
Yes.
So take time for yourself.
Yes.
Learn to love back yourself, your new self,
Yes.
and just keep it moving because everybody deserves to be loved and
Yes.
deserve to love.
Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing that. Ladies, I echo what Sherica said. Where there's a problem, where there's a concern, there's a solution. And so if you feel like the world is crumbling and everything is just not going right in your life in this moment, trust and believe that it gets better. I did not realize how snappy I had gotten.
Yeah.
People would talk to me and I would answer them with so much anger, so much
The
hate.
simplest.
The simplest thing. And I didn't even know I was doing it until I felt like I was like in a better place and I was reading back some of these text messages and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, you know why it was so mad, but you know,
Yes.
I have to, you also have to forgive yourself for stuff like that.
Forgive
And
yourself.
I'm
Yes.
appreciative of the friends that I have that actually come. I tell you, say, my friend them when me have, them
Yeah.
really understand me. The one that must stick it out to the end. They really understand me and they get me and they know that
Yeah.
if Shrika going through something that I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna broadcast it at first. Me have to internalize, think about it, like what
Yeah.
is really happening. Like me can't just go to you, me never know what happened to me.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
I'm so grateful for the support that they have given me, and they, me not so nice to them. I was not very nice to them at the time. They invite me to place, and right now I'm supposed to be known as the one who not going away. They invite
Yeah.
me, and me start feeling me not going.
Yeah.
My friend them who really get me and know say, she never come, it never mean like it wasn't personal. I must something like it has to be something why she never
Yeah.
come. I'm
Why
just
shouldn't I?
appreciative of them. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to do this for
Oh,
me.
thank you. I actually worked and me rush come home because it's at 7 o'clock, but
I appreciate it
but still
so
me
much.
can't make any cuss me out.
Oh, I appreciate it because everybody's busy and I'm
Oh,
sure it's
thank you
gonna help
so much for having
you.
me, and I hope
We're
that
not done
your
yet.
program. Oh, we're not
We're
done.
not no, we have my rapid fire segment. I'm gonna
Okay.
ask you 4 questions, just a quick answer, and then we wrap it
Mm-hmm.
all up. So, what's one red flag women ignore too often?
One red flag that we ignore too often. The first
Yes.
time the person do something that you don't like and you know say you cannot tolerate it, go about your business. That is one.
It's,
Is that a red flag? I'm not even sure, but yeah, that.
what's something you had to unlearn about love?
Love takes time. It takes work. It's not something that's just. It's not just a feeling. It really
Yeah.
takes work, and it's also a
Yeah.
feeling, but it's not just that.
Yeah.
It takes work, it takes commitment, and love takes a lot of forgiveness. Like you're gonna,
Yeah.
if you love the person, you're gonna forgive and forgive. But never say forgive him if he might give bun, if he might cheat on you, if he might spend off your money, gamble off your money. Like those things, no. But other things,
So,
like if the person probably not as tidy as or you probably tidy, you have to forgive them, teach them,
yeah.
and try to grow together. That's what I had to
Yeah.
unlearn about love. You have to re-love the person every day and put in the
Yeah.
work.
All right. And what's one boundary you'll never negotiate again?
One boundary I will never negotiate. I will never ever make myself small to make anybody feel big. No, you
Mm.
either come big or you work with the fact that I am big.
Can I drop my
So
mic? You either come big or you work the fact that I'm big. I love
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna support me and ensure that I am big. That's it. But
Yes.
if you want me to downplay
But you must.
myself, don't wear belly skin, take off my earring up so don't wear makeup, take out my earring because it too whatever. Can't wear
Not
this
for you.
to make
I'm not
you feel
for you.
happy or feel like a man. That's not gonna happen. Okay? Clap that.
Yes. I love that. Clock that mic drop. All right. Thank you so much. Is there anything that you have going on now that you want to promote, or if you want to share your Instagram or anything, this is the moment for
Well,
you.
thank you. I'm not an Instagram girly that much, but you can follow me on Instagram at Sherica Can Do It. Sherica Can Do It. Yeah. And I'm working on my TikTok. I'm working on it.
Okay.
But also, you can
Or
follow me
LinkedIn.
on LinkedIn at
Yes.
Sherica Campbell, my first
Okay.
name, last name. And you can send me a message, follow, and share what you want to
Yes.
share. And I usually respond. But yeah, those are the social media handles that I use.
Well, sis, if you needed a reminder that even when life breaks your heart, it doesn't break your purpose, this was it. Sherika, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
transparency, your
Oh, thank you
power.
so much, Yanique, for having me.
Yes, and for showing up as her. You're still
Oh.
healing, you're still evolving, and I know you don't like this word, but you are resilient. It isn't about
Yeah.
perfection, it's about persistence, and you have
Yeah.
done that. So pat
And
yourself on the
there's no
back.
room for hate. Don't hate the person. Just
Don't hate the
be
person. Because
angry, cuss,
person,
but move on. You don't hate them.
if you
There's no
hate the
hate.
person, you're gonna be sending text message angrily like Yanique did.
Yeah.
You know,
If you
you
hate
know
the
what?
person, you haven't truly healed either. And you need
Yes,
to heal. Like, make the
yes.
choice to heal yourself. Like, it's a decision.
And like Monique said in another podcast, if you listen to Monique's segment, she says she doesn't believe people are truly ever healed because if there is something that triggers them, it goes right back. So we are continually healing and becoming a better version of ourselves and finding our old self back
Evolve.
in it is where we need to.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Look out for my book, Sis, You Are Her. It's coming out soon. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Sis, You Are Her. Um, but yeah, look out. It's a big project. Check out the next podcast before this and the one after, all powerful women telling their stories. And yeah.
Thank you for watching another episode of The Blueprint. Please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share this video. Until next week, take care. Bye.